Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another session of our webinar. And today we are touching on a very important aspect of medical practice, which is unfortunate that we need to have this aspect in our medical practice. And as we know, the cases of suing doctors is on the rise. So we have with us Mr. Japhire Gopi, who is currently. Oh yeah, he is a Singaporean and he's of course residing there. So and he is actually the founder of Doctorshield. So welcome, Japhire. Maybe you can share the slides, and without further ado, we can allow you to start speaking. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Betty. Thank you for the opportunity. Allow me to share. So basically today, we're going to talk about medical indemnity insurance, medical malpractice insurance, some call it medical indemnity insurance. So I'm going to try to attempt to explain what are the key things that everyone should know. I understand that there will be a lot of youngsters joining us today, so I'm just going to take it a bit slow and try to explain the key pointers so that it sticks and they would know what the important pointers that they need to consider while purchasing indemnity insurance. Before that, let me explain in a very simple way what is medical malpractice. There must be three things that has to take place in order to be known as a medical malpractice. Number one, there must have been a duty of care established. Right? Number two, there must have been negligence that has been proven. Number three, a patient must have been harmed. Yeah. So if there was no, if there was negligence proven, but there was no duty of care, or if there was negligence proven, duty of care is established, but there was no harm, then that really does not come under the definition that we're talking about. When all these three things have happened, then obviously that's a medical malpractice, and the doctors have to be really concerned about it. Right? So negligence, right? This is really like an accident. This is really like a motor accident that none of us will be ever prepared for. It happens. It just happens. Yeah, and that is the reason why even motor insurance has been mandated, and that is definitely the reason why in Malaysia medical malpractice insurance has been mandated, because it just can happen to anyone. Right? And when it happens, it is a very expensive affair. Damages and litigation can be extremely expensive. Yep. We know of doctors who have folded their practice, people have gone bankrupt. Yeah. And more importantly, when patients go through such a painful process, yeah, because of some negligence, if there's no insurance, they also suffer, yeah, because they don't have any payouts to get at least a relief from the damages they go through. So yeah, so damages can be very expensive, litigation can be very expensive, and therefore medical indemnity insurance, yeah, it's extremely important, and that's exactly why Malaysia must have mandated these at least for all private practice doctors. Yeah. So the question remains, in a lot of other countries, whether to or not to insure, but Malaysia has gone one step further and they've not even given the choice. They've already said, okay, all private doctors must be insured.
Sorry, can I just stop you here? Sure. Are there countries that are not mandatory for doctors to be insured?
Yeah, a couple of countries have not mandated medical malpractice insurance yet. You'll be surprised, but I wouldn't want to name them. But yes, not all. Yeah, not all. In fact, even neighboring countries, a lot of them have not mandated. Maybe they are on the works, but they have not yet. Not all of them.
Okay.
Interestingly, when it comes to our Malaysian landscape now, the private doctors have been mandated, but the government doctors doing locum, of course, they have been recommended, But whether they have been mandated is a question, because how would we know whether they mandated? For example, at the point of practice or at the point of APC application, that seems to be that entry point, right? And at that point, if someone is not doing private, if they are just government doctors, then the APC would allow them to renew without having a proof of indemnity insurance. So what happens to them? Should they go ahead and practice locum after the point of APC application? So there's a group of doctors who are practicing locum who may not have indemnity insurance, and that is a very big concern. And I'll come to that later. But
Okay.
yes, for those who have not been mandated, then this question always should be considered. Should they insure? And of course, I've already explained that the damages can be quite expensive. The litigation can be a very expensive affair. Yeah. So let me just go to the next point. How do you choose the right insurance? You can stop me at any point if you have any questions, Betty.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to explain a couple of things that anyone who are buying medical indemnity insurance should think of. Okay. Of course, number one, in the event of a claim, to the insurance company provide them with a lawyer's choice? Or is it someone that they pick and they just install for you?
I think this is a very important point because most times, I think if I'm not mistaken, for example, with MPS, they have a panel of doctors. So this panel is also, I think, limited to 2 companies or so. And obviously, you may not be, you may not be comfortable with the lawyer that's one. It may not be the best lawyer that's representing you because you can't choose. But can you choose in your case in Doctorshield?
Yeah. So one thing unique about Doctorshield, I dare say, which I'm very proud of, is we allow the doctors to choose their lawyer. As long as the lawyer has a medical legal experience, subject to approval, we will definitely allow them to be engaged. The reason why we actually did that is because we think that it's very important for the doctors to feel that they had a choice of who represents them and who they can work with. And for them to understand or to feel or at least believe that the lawyer is fighting for their good.
Yes, very important.
So if that's important, then having a lawyer choice when you pick the insurance scheme is one point to look out for. The next point, unlimited runoff. What is unlimited runoff? What is a runoff? Runoff is after you retire or after you choose to stop practicing. Yep. I know a couple of them who have actually do not want to practice anymore. Okay. After having practiced 5 years, 10 years, they want to start some business, some restaurants or some consulting business. But they always worry about what happens to all the historic liabilities that could surface anytime after they stop practicing, right? Usually the retirees, they may also have this fear. What if I stop paying my insurance and then one fine day I get a claim coming back from, say, after a few years, 10 years ago. Yeah. So to avoid that uncertainty of having a claim that you have to defend in future, you can always buy a feature called unlimited runoff. So it's very important when you choose an insurance company, you need to think whether your insurance company is going to offer you a feature that takes care of your coverage after you retire, because it's quite impractical to keep paying your premiums every year, even after you retire or after you stop practicing, in fear of a claim that could arise from the past.
So this, correct me if I'm wrong. So let's say if I'm going to retire next year. So this unlimited runoff, is it an option that I buy, or is in in that package that I sign off up with?
Okay. So there is option that you can actually buy unlimited runoff. The moment you become a client, you can actually say, you know what, next year I want to retire, I want to pay some additional premium, and I want to buy unlimited runoff. Yes, that's an option. If not, as long as you have been with us for last 5 years, at least in Doctorshield, if you have been with us for 5 years and you retire, you don't need to pay any more additional premiums. You get the unlimited runoff.
I see, I see. So 5 years. Okay, now I want to ask you, how far back can a patient pick a case against you?
So that brings me to the other very important feature that you need to look out for when you buy insurance: retroactive date. Okay, that's the third point, unlimited retroactive date. So what is a retroactive date? Although you start the policy, say 1st January 2020, okay, but you started your career 30 years ago, right? A claim could be arising 15-20 years ago, and you never know, maybe 5 years ago, and you never knew about it, but you only bought your insurance, say 1st January, right? And if your policy comes with a retroactive date, that means although you started your policy today or 1st January, all your past historic liabilities will be covered. As long as you didn't know about it when you bought the policy, any historic liabilities that keeps arising after you start the policy will be covered. And then you look at your retroactive date, which was your retroactive date. And if it is unlimited, that means from day one that you started.
But technically, if correct me if I'm wrong, but a patient can only sue up to 7 years, right?
So there are a lot of other legalities with regards to these 7 and 6 years and 19 years if it's a kid. Yep. I would not want to get there.
Okay.
But yes, technically, but you never know, right? Because there could be a reasonable basis for someone to have only found out about it maybe 10 years or 50 years later. So there have been instances where we can be surprised against our common knowledge.
Okay.
So, well, the feature unlimited retroactive date is definitely offered by Doctorshield, and having a retroactive date is very important key feature in any insurance policy that you buy. Right? Next one, it's more of a feature that we have, and I thought maybe that's something which I wanted to include because we may be talking to a lot of medical officers doing locum, since I think you attract a lot of youngsters. We do have actually a flat rate for medical officers doing locum, regardless of the specialties that they are involved, right? Because there's a lot of medical officers, just now when I started saying that a lot of medical officers may not have bought insurance because at that point when they renew their APC, they may not have thought of doing locum, right? But when they go out there to practice as a locum, they have to understand that they are completely exposed. And we wanted to make sure that these people know the risk they are facing, and also to do our part. What we did is we came up with a flat rate for all medical officers doing locum, regardless of their specialties. We actually offer them a special rate for the insurance.
Okay, can I ask you what is more interesting or sometimes also important is that there are also retirees sometimes doing locum. This flat rate also applies to them, right?
No, retirees doing locum, they may come under either a GP, depending on the specialties, or they will come under a semi-retired specialist. So we do carry a classification.
They may not be specialists.
Okay.
Okay.
If they are not a specialist, then a GP would be sufficient for them, a general practitioners.
So it is.
So we have a classification for that.
Oh, I see. There's a different classification. So, for example, there are few group of people that I'm interested in. Whether so one is of course government doctors who do locum, like you say, the MO locum. Second is retirees, whether they do locum. Okay. So if you are a retiree doing locum, is there a group for them?
Yeah. So retirees doing locum, we call it semi-retired. Yeah, because if
Yeah.
they're doing locum, that means they're not fully retired.
Yeah.
So for this category of doctors, either they are just doing a general practitioner,
Mhm.
which is they could buy a general practitioner. If they are specialists, they could choose a semi-retired specialist, and they will have to choose according to their risk classification. But yes, we have catered for part-time specialists as well as semi-retired specialists. We see that it is quite unfair for them to pay a full load of premium. So we actually came up with a specialist, a unique classification for these people. And as long as they are practicing about 20 hours per week, they can purchase that.
Okay, another group of doctors that are, or another way that doctors are now fast learning to do is telemedicine. Okay, so do you cover telemedicine?
Yes, that's another important point when you choose your insurance. You need to ask whether your insurance covers telemedicine. Doctorshield does cover telemedicine. Yeah. So we are very happy to support telemedicine, teleconsultation. We are very, very happy to support. In fact, Doctorshield policy covers you worldwide except for USA and Canada.
Okay, so I may have a patient, let's say in Myanmar, that I'm doing telemedicine with, and you will still cover me this consultation.
So our policies territory is worldwide, anywhere except for USA and Canada. Having said that, you need to pay attention to the jurisdiction. It is Malaysia. So if this Myanmar patient has an issue, they need to, of course, file the case in Malaysia.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go to my favorite feature when you're looking for an insurance insurer, loss mitigation. My personal favorite. Why loss mitigation? What is loss mitigation? Loss mitigation is a budget set by insurance company to help you resolve an issue that could become blown off. Yeah. So even before a legal case is filed, if you need a fund to start bringing your lawyer, pay for the lawyer to get advice and to start getting him to resolve it even before the case gets blown off, before it gets filed. A loss mitigation clause is what you need. We have been always very pro settlement, pro mediation insurance scheme. Doctorshield has always been wanting to resolve issues before it gets dragged into the courts, because when it gets to the court, trust me, it's a very traumatic experience. It can just go on, and
yes,
it can be
both the plaintiff and for the defendant.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, it can be very daunting. It can be very traumatic. I mean,
very stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we really, really wanted to make sure that we can resolve issues as soon as possible. And that's really why we came up with the lawyer's choice feature. We came up with the loss mitigation, because we are so intent on trying to resolve issues early as possible.
So for example, there is a claim against me, okay, and there is maybe some in judgment on my side, and during this loss mitigation, for example, I would say I would like to apologize, but this is the sum that I would like to give to the patient without going to court. Is that possible? Is that
Yes.
the loss mitigation?
Yes. So that's absolutely how it works. We have set aside a budget to solve issues, even without a case being filed, a writ of summons or a hearing, yes, that's how it works. Yep. So we can pay for the lawyer, we can pay for the settlements. We do not need these to be really going into a very endless legal battle. That's exactly why loss mitigation is a clause that we are extremely proud to have. Yep. You see, Doctorshield, when Doctorshield was perceived, right, was put together, conceived, sorry, we wanted to be different. And we didn't want to be the same like everybody else, because I mean, there's no end to competition. We just wanted to be different. We didn't want to be the cheapest. We didn't want to be everything to everybody. No, we just wanted to make sure that our doctors are taken care of when there's a claim. Number one. Number two, we wanted to make sure that we can keep the premiums sustainable, right? And that is the reason why our pricing strategy is also made in a way that we do not take into high risk, but we want to take care of the part-timers, we want to take care of the locums, we want to take care of the semi-retired, yeah. And we have priced very, very competitive for the lower and the medium risk, yeah. So these are all part of the strategy to make sure that the portfolio is sustainable. It doesn't go into a continuous hike for our doctors, and want to make sure that our doctors, whenever there is an issue, we are ready to take care of them. That's all, as easy as that. And of course, number three, we wanted to make sure that the entire experience is completely efficient. We didn't want misrepresentation, yeah. So we completely made it online. So we are proud to say at this point that anyone who goes into a website, if they have not known, they can actually pick and choose whatever they need, sum assured, their classification. They'll be able to see their premiums on the spot, and they can buy it on the spot. They can read all the explanation. In fact, when they choose the codes, they would be automatically sent the policy wording, which means we are not holding anything. We just give it to you transparent. This is what you're covered for. Look through, only if you're happy, purchase the policy. So those are things that we have done.
Basically, okay, the link to the website, I've shared it in the chat for everyone to see. But what you're trying to say is actually you're the only insurance that you can go to the website, check your premium that you need to pay, but you don't have to sign up at all. With it, we can check whatever premium and compare prices, right?
Sorry, your connection stalled for a while. Say that again.
Okay, so basically, from your website, we can check the premium on site. Okay, yes. Immediately means you will calculate whatever premium we have to pay, and from there, it is no obligation, right? Just checking the premium price.
Correct.
And then you can compare it with any other insurance, right?
Absolutely, you are right. You can check your premium, no obligation. You get the policy wordings, no obligation. You can make the decision. Yeah, because we wanted to make a very well-informed decision. You are obviously free to make all comparisons, because see, we are not even we don't have many men going out there to do a pitch, right? So the way we are positioned is we just want to be transparent, and we do not want anything to be lost in translation. So that's why we give you all the policy wordings upfront, do all your calculations upfront. You see whether whatever you're comparing to. Just of course, we hope that you have enough tools to compare, because we want to be open. You make the right decision, because what's important is you buy something in a well-informed manner. So we're just empowering you. That's all. That's how we have always positioned ourselves. Yeah.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, sure.
Medifen is related to MMA somewhat. What is that relationship?
Oh, sorry, Dr. Betty. No, I will politely decline to answer this question, which I would not.
We will move on then.
Yes. Thank you. Next important feature when you look out for insurance, auto reinstatement. Okay, what is this auto reinstatement? Okay, say for example, someone has got an insurance for $1 million, right? $1 million ringgit, and they get into a suit, and this 1 million gets exhausted by July that year. So what would happen is they would find themselves having a lapsed policy, because when the policy gets exhausted, the limit gets exhausted, the policy automatically terminates. And then in July, trying to buy insurance for the balance of the year is going to be like almost a very tough thing, especially when you go to insurance company after a fresh claim. All right, it's going to be a tough thing, trust me. Yeah. So this is a time when if you had an auto reinstatement, it would be extremely beneficial. So in the event that your policy gets exhausted, the auto reinstatement feature actually replenishes another million for you to see through the entire year. So that gives you time to find another insurance solution that gives you some time to stay in the practice. Because if your policy has lapsed, say July, after a fresh claim of 1 million, your policy is terminated, essentially you can't carry on practicing, right? You wouldn't know if something happens after July 1st, you are completely bare. So this auto reinstatement feature is a feature that we allow our clients to buy. So when they buy their insurance coverage, there is a feature. It asks you, do you want to get an auto reinstatement? Doctorshield does provide you that at a 10% more top up. And yep, for especially specialists doing medium and high risk, especially specialists who face constant legal stress. Yeah, this will definitely be a good choice. Yeah. That's a feature that you need to see if your insurance company provides it. Doctorshield definitely does. Yeah. Next feature would be a clinic indemnity. This applies to clinic owners, right? Very interestingly, when we started this platform, we found that a lot of clinic owners were not actually exposed to the idea that if their clinic is a Simdian Bahad, that clinic can be named in the legal suit. A lot of them thought, why? I'm the doctor. Why would they even name my clinics? But actually not so, because every time a specialist is named, the clinic that hires all their staff and their locums, without doubt, gets named, especially if they are a Simdian Bahad, right? And most of the times, the doctors, when they see that the clinics has been named, they get caught off guard, because this is a very new idea. They would not expect that a clinic itself also has to buy a clinic indemnity. And then what happens? You ask the insurance companies, hey, I've got insurance. Can my insurance also represent my clinic? And then without a doubt, the insurance company will say, no, it's two different entities. You paid premium for yourself, not for your clinic, which is right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's yeah, according to them, it is right, which you can understand, right? It's two different risks for them, right? And therefore, we have been a very big voice trying to promote clinic indemnity, because we have seen, and of course, a couple of good friends of us have also gone to this tough phase of not having clinic indemnity. They have paid a huge price. We learned it from them. We had a lot of feedback, and we have actually inculcated that within the platform. So any specialist who or GP who's got a clinic, they have an option, just few clicks, that they can buy their clinic indemnity along with their own professional personal indemnity. So that's a feature. If any GPs are watching, pay attention. If your clinic is Simdian Bahad, it is exposed, you definitely want to insure that.
And is the premium very high?
If your clinic, okay, if someone is going to an insurance company to buy a clinic insurance by itself, let's say they pay $10 compared to Doctorshield's add-on clinic indemnity, they actually save about 60%, maybe even 70% at some instance. So clinic indemnity through Doctorshield is a very, very good deal. It's a very, very good deal.
So basically, if I buy Doctorshield insurance for myself and I have my clinic, you're saying that if it ties to my clinic with Doctorshield, I get a 70% off.
Your clinic insurance, when it's bought along with your
yes, my own
individual,
insurance,
it is very, very competitive compared to buying clinic insurance, clinic indemnity insurance as a standalone.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially for medium risk specialists who own ACC, ambulatory care centers, they should really take the opportunity. Yeah. Anyone who is actually insuring their ACC medium risk specialists, yeah, please reach out. You would know you make a huge saving when you insure with Doctorshield and you add on clinic indemnity. Yeah. And yes, that's a very important thing when you're choosing your insurance. The last point that I wanted to emphasize is PR, cyber, and privacy. So, data leakage is a big concern. It's a big concern. Cyber risk is a big concern. And if someone sues the doctor because of a leakage, some privacy data leakage, and then that's a very important risk that you're facing in today's connected world. And you want to check whether your insurance covers that. Doctorshield, of course, covers this. We are very proud to be covering our doctors against third-party cyber and privacy risk, and I think it's very important given today's connected world. Yeah.
Can you explain more about this cyber coverage? What kind of cyber coverage, or what kind of cyber malpractice or suit do we as doctors can foresee?
Yeah. So let's say a very important person has come to a particular clinic and his data has been leaked. Okay. This clinic got hacked and all his medical history has been published. Okay. This particular important person can actually sue this doctor at the clinic for having not taken enough measures, or at least for the leakage. So in those tough situations, then of course the insurance is required, right? You're going to have to defend it or pay the claims. So our insurance actually does cover that. And this risk is actually very, very real.
Oh, it's something that is very new, yeah?
Yeah.
I've never thought about this, privacy and cyber.
So let me go to the next one. Yeah, so just to explain about who we are, Doctorshield, yes, this is our website, the doctorshield.com. Doctorshield started, it's not even started. It is a collaborative effort between CHUP and Japhire. CHUP is, of course, one of the biggest insurer in the world, and they have the largest capacity for MedMal. They're one of the largest in the world for medical indemnity, and I'm very proud to say that we find them a great partner. When we started in Malaysia, we know that if we were to do a platform, we wanted to find the best who can actually pay claims in the country itself. And yep, CHUP was there. CHUP understood what we are doing and they shared the vision, and I think we are very happy to have such great partners. They're a wonderful organization to work with. So they share the vision of loss mitigation, the lawyer choice, the pro settlement approach, yep, and having a healthy premium, a sustainable one. So they are just, we really enjoy working with them. And yes, that's a website. When you get in there, you will see a get a quote button. And what that would mean is you can actually just with few clicks, this is how it looks like. Yeah, you just choose your classification, choose your sum assured, and put a policy date, starting date, ending date. Ending date is always 31st December, and they will straight away give you the premiums. You have the choice thereafter whether they should just email you the policy wording or you want to purchase. And if you want to purchase, we ask you like 6 to 7 questions, and then 4 declaration questions, and after that, payment. After you make the payment, you can check your inbox, you would have received your policy. Yep, that's how easy it is. Okay, that's and maybe we can play them a video. Yeah, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, while you're playing the video,
Mhm.
um,
Any questions,
yeah,
please?
but it used to be the insurance coverage was monopolized by a certain company. Of course, the newer doctors and currently because of this MCO and the pandemic, people of the volume for doctors has also decreased, and the premium is too expensive. So a lot of people are switching over. Is there a problem with switching insurance?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that very interesting question, Dr. Betty. The problem with switching over, especially if they have an ongoing claim, okay, or if they know of a particular claim, yeah, then it may not be the best or the easiest move. Okay, they obviously should have notified the existing insurer that there is a claim or they're going to expect a claim, and they have to settle that first. Okay, so that's very important. So do not switch without really making sure that you are protected. Yeah, that's the most important advice. This is for those who know there is an issue or there is going to be an upcoming issue. Okay. If this is not a concern, they are all clean and all their previous claims have all been settled, then that's perfectly fine. Okay, then they can
You
switch.
take a person with claims,
Hmm.
will if it's ongoing claims, if they go into your website, would you know?
Yeah, because they will declare, right? They'll
Oh, I
definitely
see.
declare ongoing. Yeah.
What if they lie?
No, all insurance is done or accepted in utmost faith. So I don't think they would lie. They wouldn't want to put their future claims into risk. Yeah, I think they would all will have to be upfront. Yeah. Let me play the video while we see
Yeah.
any other questions. Yeah.
We're Doctorshield, and we do insurance differently than most companies. Things like simplifying details so it's easy to understand what makes us Malaysia's most innovative indemnity provider. As a Doctorshield client, you'll enjoy comprehensive coverage with fewer exclusions. With some insurers, you'll only find out what's not covered when you make a claim. Our policy details are online and easy for everyone to understand. Competitive premiums that don't keep increasing. Many insurers increase their premiums across the board to compensate for losses. Doctorshield limits the number of doctors insured from high-risk categories, so our premiums start fair and stay fair. Prompt dispute resolutions. We're pro-mediation because settlement and negotiation, instead of endless litigation, is better for everyone. Career and reputation protection. Typically, litigation can drain a doctor financially and emotionally. We limit the damage by both, so our clients emerge good names intact. And peace of mind, because a happy doctor is a good doctor. Our different approach to creating policies means we put you first before us, so you can enjoy your career and sleep like a baby, even if you've just delivered one. Doctorshield, insurance with the difference.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Sleep like a baby.
Advertising on Google without ad protection, you have to try fix it.
Okay, let me just share this. Okay, so Doctorshield, hold on, where? Sorry, let me just see where is this. What has happened to my slides? Just give me a moment here.
No problem.
So,
Okay, I see that you have shared the website in the chat. Yeah,
right.
that's good. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you, okay, is the sum insured important? For example, okay, I have never been, okay, touch wood, okay, there has never been any claims against me. So, and let's say previously it was unlimited, but now I feel like, okay, I want to reduce my premium. Is it important that I choose, let's say, the right sum? How do I choose the right sum?
So, yeah, it's a good question. So what this is a question which a lot of doctors ask us, right? So what we have started to understand is we look at the risk level and we try to correspond that to a typical claim amount which in the history, from the history. So if it's like a GP, a low risk, a 1 million sum should usually suffice. And if they are from a very high risk, then of course we recommend that they do a 5 million at least sum assured. This is, I mean, we just take reference from the previous suits that we know of, previous cases that has been filed. That's how we determine the number.
I see. Okay. Are there any questions at all? Okay. Dr. Shield has kindly, given us a promo code for everyone listening in, or anyone can use this promo code and get a discount off when they sign up with Dr. Shield. And the promo code is HEARTS 2021. So if you intend to sign up with Dr. Shield, use HEARTS 2021 and you will get a discount. So if there is no questions, well, we'll stop here.
Perfect. So in our website,
yes, exactly.
I think you have one question.
Okay, is government doctors required to purchase any indemnity insurance?
Okay, that's a good one. Required. Okay, this is a very difficult terminology. A government doctor is recommended to purchase indemnity insurance, although they are not required by law. The reason why, because of course we have done a lot of talks regarding this. The reason why is because they are still exposed to a regulator's inquiry, and should there be a regulator's inquiry, they still need to put up defense costs. Yeah, they need to engage a lawyer and they need to go through this. So that's the reason why a government doctor, although they are protected against indemnity from a plaintiff, they still need to buy medical indemnity insurance because they have regulators inquiry costs. You still need a lawyer to defend you, and that can cost you. From my previous talks, I've heard our lawyer friends say that could be 50 to 100,000. So that's a huge amount.
I see. It won't be covered by the Ministry of Health?
Now, if there's a regulator inquiry against a government doctor, they have to pay for them, or if they have insured themselves, the insurance will pay. And we have quite a lot of government doctors who have insured them with us because of the same. Yeah. Even if these government doctors are not doing locum, it is still recommended very strongly that they buy the indemnity insurance.
How much of these malpractice suits have increased over the last 3 to 5 years?
Well, I do not know about 3 to 5 years exactly, but I can tell you that the last year, this year itself, we have quite a lot of experience. We have quite a lot of cases. Maybe it is because the insurance has been mandated. Yeah, maybe because the plaintiffs know now that almost all doctors have insurance, right?
I see. So they are not so sympathetic towards or worry about the doctor's well-being in the matter of money side. So they can make the claims. But I think it's awareness.
Awareness, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's awareness. It is, when you watch a lot of series in the US, and there are a lot of lawsuit in it, just picks up with everyone else. it's a trend that is growing, I'm sure, and it will grow even more.
Yeah, I'm quite sure. But we're definitely seeing a lot of cases. We hear a lot of claims very frequently this year, especially.
Can I ask you a very technical question? What's the difference between occurrence-based and claim-based coverage?
Okay, so occurrence-based means if you have paid occurrence-based insurance company a premium for say 2020 and you do not pay at all anymore, any case arising from that particular year, you are covered. Okay, you are covered lifelong. Yeah, occurrence based. Okay, but if you have chosen to go for a claims made insurer, you need to be insured at the point when the claim arises. Even if the claim arises from an incident in the past, but you must have been a paying client of this insurance company for the claim to be handled. That is the main difference. Occurrence based, let me try to explain this again because it's a very tough concept.
Yeah.
Occurrence based means as long as you have been insured by occurrence based insurer, you don't need to keep paying the premiums for it to be honored. Okay, even if you're not practicing, it doesn't matter. The claim comes in as long as you used to be an occurrence based insurance company for that year when the claim whatever arise, you are covered. Okay.
So this insurance that we are buying from Doctorshield or MPS or whatever.
So MPS is occurrence based insurer. Okay?
Oh, I see. So
MPS
that's the difference.
Yes.
Okay.
MPS is occurrence based insurer, and no matter how many years later, if you'd been insured by MPS maybe 20 years ago, and a claim arises from that year, MPS will still honor it because it's an occurrence based insurer. Although I think they have been moving towards other schemes or other hybrid. I'm not supposed to be even commenting because I don't know. So
Yeah,
forgive me for that. But typically, occurrence-based insurer would be like that. Doctorshield is a claims-made insurer. Okay, that means you have to keep paying your premium with us, and we will take care of claims that comes to us while you are our client. Okay. Of course, the special case is whereby just now I explained, when you retire, you make sure that you buy a runoff and then you retire. So it is actually a kind of a modified, like a hybrid. When you have a runoff, it is.
So if I buy 5 years, okay, continuously with Doctorshield, and I retire, I will be covered for these 5 years.
You'll be covered for
all the time.
All the time, yeah.
All
because
the
your runoff, yes, your runoff is also part of your coverage already. Sorry, your retroactive rate is already part of your runoff coverage.
So it shouldn't matter very much whether it's occurrence based or claim based coverage in that sense.
Correct. So yes, we can work around it. How? When you switch from occurrence based to a claims made, just make sure that you stay at least 5 years or buy a runoff. Effectively, you are covered for all your historic liabilities.
Okay, I get it now. Okay, it's very technical. It's very difficult to understand.
Yeah. So when I learned this concept, I used a lot of graph and a lot of diagrams. So it's quite unfair to actually just say it this way, but yeah, we get the idea. But we have these answers in our FAQ in Doctorshield. If not, please feel free to contact us for any technical questions. We will definitely try our level best to find the resource for you. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll stop here. And thank you so much.